So your kid won't stop hitting other kids and you're at your wit's end and you're like, what can I do to change this behavior? Well, this is when a behavioral contract might be worth it. So let's talk about what a behavioral contract is and how it can help a child adjust their behaviors on a day-to-day basis. So what is a behavioral contract? Well, it's pretty much what it sounds like. A behavioral contract is a written contract that a parent and a child come up together and they both sign it and they say, hey, you have to stop hitting Susie. And then the kid signs, and if they hit Susie, well, then they broke that contract. A lot of times people will associate rewards or punishments with these contracts in order to hold everyone accountable for those actions or behaviors. But what's the point of coming up with a written contract with a kid? Well, you're setting expectations for your child. You're highlighting certain behaviors. Don't hit Susie, don't yell at the dog, don't yell at mom. And then you're saying, if you do these behaviors, there is a consequence for that. Whether it's a timeout or you have to give up your iPad for 30 minutes at night, whatever it might be as the punishment, those punishments then reinforce doing that behavior correctly. And if you have rewards set in place, well, then those rewards also reinforce doing that behavior correctly. The less you hit Susie, the less you yell at mom, the more rewards that child's going to get, and that's just reinforcing doing things correctly. We don't want people to make the same mistakes over and over, and when they don't realize that there's consequences to that mistake, well, that's when it starts to get even more repetitive. Now, you're asking, can you use a behavioral contract with somebody at any age? My kid is 3 years old, they can't read. Well, no, they can't read, but they can understand that there's expectations that they need to follow and meet. So by highlighting these things, discussing it, being fully transparent with what the expectations are, what the punishments are, and what the rewards are, you're able to create an understanding between the two of you or more of you. This is how things should go. But how do you create an effective behavioral contract? Well, it's all about understanding the behaviors that you're trying to change. How do you create an effective behavioral contract? Well, it's pretty simple, actually. It's all about collaboration. The kid needs to be involved and the parent needs to be involved. Both parties need to have an understanding of what the expectations are, what the consequences are, and what the rewards are. If the kid doesn't understand it, then that piece of paper really means nothing. And the behavior is probably going to keep being repeated. Now, some people might ask, is a behavioral contract legally binding? No, it's not. You're coming up with a piece of paper and a set of rules and outlines and expectations for your kid. There's no lawyers involved. There's no jail time, there's no anything. You come up with the consequences, you come up with the rewards. You're the parent, you're the one in charge. So let's look at a little real life scenario of how a behavioral contract could be used. Let's say that Charlie's teacher sees a lot of interruptions and disruptions in class, and it's starting to really affect how other kids are able to learn. Well, that teacher might say, hey, we need to create a behavioral contract. Mom, Dad, let's look at this, let's sit down with Charlie and let's figure out how we can identify these behaviors and then work to fix them. The parent would discuss her initial reaction and her initial problems with what's going on, and then you'd get to a point where you start setting goals. If Charlie's interrupting 10 times a day, maybe a good goal is to start with 5 times a day, and that's an improvement. And then from there, maybe you go to 3, 2, 1, and then there's no interruptions throughout the day. Establishing clear goals is one of the most important things for a behavioral contract. You need to be able to say, yes, I did this, or no, I didn't do this. From setting the goals, you then define the expectations. You say, here's the consequence if this behavior occurs, or here's the reward if you don't do this behavior. It's all about consistent monitoring from there. If you're not watching, then you'll never understand if one of these rules gets broken. So it's important to have communication with all of those around you, caregivers, babysitters, whoever it may be, to understand that, hey, this is the behavior we're looking for, and if he does this, then here's the consequence. Everyone needs to be on the same page in order for this to work. And if everything goes to plan, well, you'll start to see behavior changes in your child, and hopefully good behavior changes. By using rewards that the kid really enjoys, like watching their favorite movie or having their favorite snack, you're then creating a great incentive for that child to follow the proper behavioral procedure. Then, hopefully, everything grows and everyone's happy. So that's what a behavioral contract is. It's pretty simple, but it's important to be transparent, understanding, and have that rigidity and consistency in following those rules. If you learned something today, it'd be great if you hit the like button, even the subscribe button. If you want to learn more about the best kids tablet on the market, well, head to getgoalie.com. That's where our daily skills system is, with everything from an AAC talker to a rules and rewards app to co-pilots, which send visual schedules to children throughout their day. If you want to learn more about behavioral contracts, click the link in the bio where we have a blog post and we dive deeper into the topic. Thanks so much for tuning in today.
Did that help you understand the term? If yes, give us a thumbs up or subscribe below. If it didn't, then leave us a comment and tell us why. What are we missing? We always want to do better. This is a project by Goalie. Check us out at getgoalie.com.